allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Present.
Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Sweet?
Present.
Trustee Zansky-Shorty? Present. Trustee Berian?
Present.
Mayor Yurkich?
Present. We need to change that. We need to make it sure. Okay. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
I move to table L1.
L1 would be executive session. I have no problem with that. Everyone okay with it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, no executive session tonight. Good. We have two minutes that we're going to be approving tonight, so I need a motion to approve the January 26, 16 special village board meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Trustee Sykes, is there a second?
I can second.
Trustee Gabriel, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Then we need a motion to approve the minutes of January 27th, 2016 Village Board meeting.
I so move.
Trustee Sweet, second. Trustee Costa, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I'll abstain since I was not here.
Okay. Motion carries. Next is appointments. I need a motion to appoint Kyle Sanders to the Parks and Recreation Committee. I don't have a bio here for him. No, I don't have a bio, but is there a motion to approve Kyle Sanders? Oh, we do have one. It's okay. I'll put these in. Okay. Kyle Sanders, he wants to be on the Parks and Recreation Committee, School of Information, Bachelor's of Landscape Architecture from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. He currently is a landscape architect with Hearst House Landscape Architects and Contractors, a resident and commercial landscape design and build company. He's been registered landscape architect since August of 2014. He's worked in the landscape industry in various capacities since he was 18 years old, 10 years worth of experience. Hobbies, grade school basketball coach for 5th, 6th graders, and 5 years when he still lived in Southern Illinois. Since the young age, he's been involved in sports and has always had a lot of love for the outdoors, hiking, canoeing, camping. He recently moved to Homer Glen with his wife, who grew up in Lamont, and he's excited about getting involved in this. And we appreciate standing up for it, so I need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Troy.
I'll second.
That's by Trustee Sweet. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Kyle, welcome to the committee. Is he here? Well,
He wasn't sure if he was able to make it today.
well, welcome to the committee. Okay. Next will be reports and communications from the board and other officers. I'll start off with mine. As a reminder, Village Hall will be closed on Monday, February 15th, in observance of President's Day. Regular business hours will resume on Tuesday, February 16th. We will be discussing the Village Hall renovation update. The village continues to work with TRIA Architecture on the remodeling of the future Village Hall building. On February 4th, the future Village Hall renovation project bids will open at the current Village Hall, which is here. Tree architecture received 14 separate base bids. So later tonight, the board will discuss the bids that were received, and the village is on schedule with the remodel project, and we will continue to keep the residents informed as everything becomes available. That is it right now for my report. We'll go to the trustees and start down with Trustee Gabriel.
Mayor, I have no report, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Suisse.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting for the Environment Committee, our committee has been working on the entertainment for the May 21st Earth Day, Arbor Day event going to be held at Konos Farm. We plan on having a big run wolf ranch, cold-blooded creatures, monkeys and more, the Northern Illinois Raptors, and incredible bats. A tree planting by Instant Shade is also being proposed. As a reminder, our next Earth Day, Arbor Day meeting will be on February 17th. Our committee has been contacted by the 50-plus club from the Hoffman Estates Park District. They are planning on having our June 10th stargazing event selected as one of their bus trips and plan on dining in our area as well. This will be a great way to showcase Homer Glen. Reporting for the Homer Harvest Day Committee, during our last meeting we discussed the possibility of replacing the Homer Harvest Day ground signs since they are getting brittle and starting to fade. The committee continued to discuss the 2016 budget and reviewed entertainment demonstrators, and we took a look at our vendors, along with possible new uses for the barn. We are trying to look at new and different ways to grow this event. Reporting for the Parks Committee, during the month of February, several members of the board, along with staff, will be reviewing all the proposals received from the various firms regarding the creation of a master park development plan for the former Woodbine property. We will then select a certain number of proposals for the various committees and the rest of the board to review with presentations to follow. That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Sweet. Trustee Rogers.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Trustee Costa.
No report this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Troy.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Trustee Berrien.
No report, Mayor.
Boy, that was quick. Okay, we're going to switch to the treasurer. Is there any treasurer's report?
No report.
Clerk?
Sorry. Okay, so the last day to register to vote for the March 15th primary is next Tuesday, February 16th. We have grace period voting, which allows residents to register and vote at the same time, but it is only available at the Will County Clerk's office in Joliet. Same-day registration on March 15th will be now available at all Will County polling places. Our election judges will act as deputy registrars. Early voting will take place here at the Village Hall, right over there, beginning February 29th, and that will last until Saturday, March 12th. The hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon, and then from 1 to 4, and then Saturdays from 9 until noon. If you need additional voting information, you can visit the Will County Clerk's website at www.thewillcountyclerk.com. And if you have any questions, you can call the office here. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let me see. Village Attorney?
Speechless, Your Honor.
Seems like a lot of people today. Public safety officials?
Nothing to report, sir.
We're a boring town. Village Manager?
I actually do have something to report. Recently, I provided the Above and Beyond the Call of Duty Awards to 2 individuals on staff for the summer months, and at this time I'd like to provide the Above and Beyond the Call of Duty Awards to 2 more staff members for the winter months. Those staff members are Regina Spino and Doreen Szymanski. I'm going to start with Gina Spino. She joined us last April and became a receptionist and AP clerk. And since she's been here, she has brought positivity to the office. She continues to work with her team members, even at times when it's stressful and difficult. She's always willing to lend a hand. On a Friday night at 4:25, when I'm doing packets, she goes, "Do I need to stay? I'm here to help." So that's the kind of attitude we have in our office, and that's what makes Gina special. She goes above and beyond with our residents when we have this last summer, we had a resident call who was trying to put together a garage sale. And Gina goes, well, what can we do to help? You know, they need stuff to sell. And I go, well, let's try contacting some of the businesses in the community and see what they're willing to donate. And so Gina organized all that. She worked with this resident. They put on this garage sale. They were able to raise funds. And I'm not going to name those businesses, but one of them was even willing to come and help plant some stuff for the garden. And it was all because Gina took the time to stop and go, we can do something. Let's make it happen. Let's do something for this community. She's also become a person who steps outside of her traditional duties as receptionist and AP clerk to go and help one of our fellow staff members who is in dire need of administrative assistance. Mike Salamovich, as most of you know, has an office full of files, and her goal has become to organize them. She's never been asked to do this before she started doing it, and out of nowhere she just decided, she's like, that's it, we've got to clean this, I'm going to make this my task. So she took the time to figure out to do that. She wanted to work with Mike. These are things that I never asked her to do. These are things that other people haven't asked her to do, but she's taken that initiative, and I appreciate her so much. And that is why I want to give her the Above and Beyond the Call of Duty Award for the winter months. The second person that we would like to give this award to is Doreen Shemansky. First I want to have Joe introduce her, because I don't know how many people know Doreen. She's been with the village for a very long time, but you know, she's like Gina, she's the voice on the phone, but most people don't get to meet. So I'm going to have Joe introduce.
Doreen's going to be going on 10 years with the village in April of this year. She's the administrative assistant. She's very busy all the time. She's responsible for all the record keeping with the building permits, contractor registration, inspections, and the collection of all those fees. She's a frontline phone person for that department, answering questions from contractors and residents. Sometimes not always the best or the things they want to hear, but she manages through it very well. She maintains all the records, fines for adjudication hearings, and also the vehicle impounds as well. So she wears a lot of hats here and does a very, very good job. Also, she recently completed a Freedom of Information Act training to further assist in processing those, which we get a lot of recently as well.
Because we do receive a lot of Freedom of Information Act requests, I did ask Joe if it was possible to have Doreen take on that additional work, and she did so, and I also want to say thank you for doing that, because it does make everyone's life a lot easier. But I would also like to thank Doreen for taking the initiative this last Christmas to put together a fundraiser. Traditionally, staff exchanges gifts every year. And Doreen said, well, why don't, you know, and it's completely optional, why don't we just take this time to pull our resources and donate to a community organization. So she selected TLC, we all agreed. It's completely voluntary, but we came together and piled up all the stuff in front of her desk and gift certificates and everything else. And she came in on her day off with her husband and her son, and they brought everything over to TLC. And it was very touching to me that she wanted to give back to this community on her day off, and that this is her initiative and nobody asked her to do it, and I thank you for that. On top of that, she also solicited food items for the Manteno Veterans Hospital, and her family delivered that, and they provided 5,500 servings for the residents of that facility. So for all of that, ladies, thank you for being a big part of our team and our family. So if you could come up and take a picture with me. I've got your names on the plaque, which is hanging in our village hall. And to say thank you, $50 which we get each of you to a business in Lower Glen of your choice. So thank you. Heather, do you want to be on the note? Oh, thank you. I'm always the one telling people who's under the seat. So, a little more. Am I good? concludes my report.
And thank you, ladies. Next on the agenda is public comment.
There is none.
Okay. On a nose today.
No, we're good.
Bob, I figure you can save it till the next meeting and then we can just enjoy that. All right, next is legislation and action items. First, for I-1 is motion for consideration to waive the formal bidding process and approve the agreement for refuse, recycling, yard waste collection between the Village of Homer Glen and Homewood Disposal Services, Inc. from July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion? Okay, motion from trustee Costa, second from trustee Gabriel. And any discussion?
Well, I didn't have a chance to go over or see the A&F meetings, minutes from the meetings, but I think that everything that we were asking for was included in there. Was there anything missing? Because I didn't.
No, everything that we asked for, we received. Actually, I wanted to introduce Tom Agama. He's the general manager over at New Way. He's here to answer any questions you may have about the contract. Go ahead and go to the podium. Many of you already know Tom, but you know, we've worked with him since 2008. We've had a great working relationship. And this new contract, I'm very happy to report, will add another $1 in savings to seniors, so it'll be $3 off per month, effective July 1st, 2016. You know, there's that. That's one major thing that we did talk about. The second thing that we talked about was only doing 2% increases per year. Previously, there were 4% increases, and we are now doing 2%. We removed the sale of recyclables because at one point the village was receiving proceeds from that, but the last 2 years we haven't received any. In fact, New Way is losing money on recyclables. So we removed that from the language. And then also when we move into our new village hall, we will receive free refuse service. Tom is going to provide us with 4 portable johns that'll be able to service the new village hall park. And if we decide to use less or more, we'll figure something out at that point. But he's always been very good to us with respect to our community festival and all of our other events. He has been the go-to person when we've needed assistance, and they've always been prompt and efficient, and we appreciate that. Anyone has any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Just one quick thing.
Sure.
So I'm looking at the chart of comparisons to some of the surrounding communities. And just clarification on one thing. So I'm looking at New Lenox. And the asterisk is the monthly unit rate, 1/12 of $170. I think that's an annual yard waste collection fee. Is that correct?
Yes, that would be for yard waste.
And that's an annual fee, so it's just
Yes,
divided on each monthly bill sort of thing?
correct.
Okay, is that optional in New Lenox?
The yard waste is optional.
Okay.
They have a different type of program. They have they get to select what size cart they want to use for garbage pickup. So they can get a 35, 65, or a 95 gallon cart.
Okay.
Anything outside the cart has to have an extra garbage sticker on it. So there's monthly rate for the cart, but if you have extra garbage, you have to buy the additional stickers to put on.
Okay, can you do the additional carts like we can do? So,
Well,
go ahead.
they can rent carts, right?
Yeah.
Pardon? New Lenox would be able to rent a cart if they chose to, right?
Yes,
Well, we're talking about the yard waste. One cart, and then anything additional needs a sticker.
No, garbage.
Okay.
They're garbage.
Yeah.
With yard waste, if they want to rent additional carts, it's another $170. Or they can put bags with stickers outside the cart.
Okay.
Yard waste collection.
Okay. But on the yard waste portion, right, that has the $170 annual yard waste collection fee, if someone doesn't have a use for the yard waste, that comes off the bill, I guess is my question,
Yes.
$170.
Yeah, they have to order that cart. They fill out an order form.
Okay,
So if they don't want that cart, they don't have to get that cart. Or there's no charge.
okay. And so then my question on ours is built into that, right?
Yes, it is.
That is correct.
We encourage that here instead of burning.
No, totally understand that, yeah. But whether someone accepts the cart and uses yard waste or not, that's on the bill, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and so I guess my only question is, and again, is it something to potentially consider making that optional for people that don't use, now again, to completely agree on the leaf burning versus, but if we didn't have that fee, and I don't know, again, I don't even know how many people this would actually apply to, so it really is just a question, but if we do have residents not using the yard carts,
Okay.
is it something to consider going to, and I guess I don't know what the breakdown of that would be either. That's built into our price, which is going to be.
Our price for a single-family home will be effective July 1st. It's going to be $23.84, and that includes all three services: refuse, recycling, and yard waste.
Okay, and so with the card fee in New Lenox, it's $31.51.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So that's all I was looking for. I was just looking for clarification on what that $170 fee was applied to. So yeah, I think it's a somewhere around, with a $3 off for seniors, it's somewhere around a 13% reduction of a bill for seniors.
Yes.
And a 2% increase that is stable for the duration of the contract, right?
Yes, it's stable for the duration of the contract. We looked at the surrounding communities. You'll find in your packets there are spreadsheets. Who we were trying to compete with most was Lamont, because they were the closest to us and the services they provided, and we were able to come in lower than them. So that was my goal, and we achieved it, and thank you to Tom for working with us on that.
As I get closer to the retirement age, I never argue with seniors.
I have a question, Mr. Abrams. Is the roll-off dumpster rates, are they going up by the same, the 2%, or are they staying about the same? Because I know we have a lot of, horse people and things like that.
We took that chart out of the contract with the roll-off pricing because that's an on-call pricing. So
Oh, I see.
that may change from year to year. As our disposal goes up, as our labor goes up, the price on those containers change. But that's really not part of this contract because residents do not have to use us for that service.
Okay,
It's in the contract. They can use anyone they want. So what we left in here is we will give residents a 5% discount off the call-in rate. So when you call our office, they'll give you the call-in rate and identify yourself as a Homer Glen resident, and we'll give a 5% discount off of that.
So residents going forward in the new contract, say July 1st, now if they have these roll-off dumpsters, are they going to have to be aware to call you? Or is this going, are you just going to continue their service?
No, if they have one now,
Right.
they're already getting the discounted price.
Okay, so that'll just continue, they don't have to do anything different?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question with respect to the term of the contract. I notice many villages differ in their term, 2 to 3 to 5 to 6 to 7, 8, and 10 years. Do the discounts apply? Obviously, we thank you for considering us for the discounted rates you've done that with. Do discounts apply to those longer term deals, I would imagine?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
heavier discount.
You mean for the dumpsters?
For all in
And
general,
for
just in
the
general.
discounts?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, just in general.
Yes.
Just two questions, Tom, not about the contract, but this actually just came up recently. If a resident has a garbage can, I know it's in our contract that you guys replace anything that's broken. If they have one that's bad, does the route driver note that and let the company know, or does the resident have to call Waste Management to get it replaced?
Well, don't call Waste Management. Call us.
I apologize. Unfortunately, it's too much at work, but yes.
No, if the resident can call the company, and we'll get it taken care of.
Okay, and the second question is the yard waste dumpster, I know it's for a certain amount of time, but in the middle of winter, can the resident use the blue yard waste dumpster for garbage?
I'm sure they can, yes. Usually we do that with our yard waste carts. You can use it for garbage in the winter.
Or recycling, as long as you put it separate.
No, recycling should go in the recycle cart.
Well, but if the recycling cart is filled, the blue cart just sits next to it because you have to separate them on your driveway anyhow. You put the garbage on one side, recycling on the other.
Yeah, but because it's the blue cart, the recycle driver might not recognize it as recycling. So the garbage guy will dump it.
Okay.
So if that happens, give us a call, let us know, and we can tell the driver. We can let them know.
Okay, and I think too, because you're helping out the seniors, you're helping out the village, and you do wonderful work, so.
It's our pleasure. I'm proud to say this year we celebrate 60 years as a family-owned company. And we just, about 4 weeks ago, we celebrated the founder's 92nd birthday, who, when he's in town, comes to work every day.
Mayor, I just have one more comment. Can you explain to the residents for seniors, do they have to do anything what do they have to do to get the discount on a monthly basis?
Well, we currently have a little over 1,000 that are getting this senior discount. We will automatically adjust theirs.
Okay.
But if there's a new senior, they have to call our office. We may ask them to verify their age, and then we'll just apply.
Okay. So they should contact you?
Contact us.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the age of the seniors?
65.
Just so they know. Thank you very much, Tom, we really appreciate it.
Thank
I
you.
have one more question. If a garbage can is stolen, because
Yes.
I've heard, people stealing them, isn't there, because then I have to replace mine because it's been stolen because I live on a long driveway, there's no way to know who took it. Do you guys have any way of tracking that? Probably not, right? Because I know there's numbers on them, but,
We record those numbers, but trying to find that number card can be very difficult. But it has happened.
yeah, my concern, I guess my question was if the driver came up to a driveway and they all of a sudden started having two blue ones, would they say, hey, maybe one of these is Beth Rogers can? Or, like somebody's that got stolen, or are you just going to assume that they all of a sudden have two cans? Or I guess I was just trying to figure out if there was really nothing you can do, right?
No, we have people that will rent an additional can, like a blue can for yard waste. I think it's $3 a month in the contract. So if two of them show up at a house, driver doesn't know that. He's going to assume that they've rented the second one. But if you do get one stolen, we will replace that for you. I say that real quiet, so we don't get a lot of calls tomorrow. But if you give us a call, we'll take care of that.
You know you're on TV, right?
I know.
Too late.
I'm smiling.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Just one last comment. Just a kudos to the village manager for negotiating this and spending the time on this, and I think it is a good company that personally I've always had great service from and good rates with an additional discount for seniors. So.
I would also like to say thank you to Sean Keane, who did a lot of research and put together these spreadsheets. So it was a shared effort, and thank you for that.
Okay, anything else? All right, all in favor, or do we call on this one? Roll call, please.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweets? Aye. Trustee Barrian?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Schumacher?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is consider for approval the motion to award the construction contract for renovation work to be completed at the new village hall. We're not going to go for a motion tonight. What we're going to do is discuss any other changes that we're going to have to it. Right now, we have the bids before us. We're still going through the bids. We're still going through all the attachments. So if there are any questions from anyone, this would be the time to ask it, because we would like to get the motion on this so we can get them going. So, Brian, I'll kind of turn that over to you for some of this, because Brian and myself have been going through all the meetings with them. It's very positive. We will be saving money. But we don't have a final figure, so I don't want to throw a figure out there yet. But, Brian, you got the floor for
I'd be happy to answer any question.
All right, thank you for the question. We looked at all the base bids, which were really were quite good in the bottom three that we have evaluated good. But there were also 16 alternate bids, or alternate prices. 4 of them were actually deducts. I would imagine a column removal, we're not going to eliminate that, so that stays in. Are any of the other 3, like the light fixture or the touch panel or alternate 15, are any of those, are we talking about taking those out of the bid and leave those in, or hasn't that been determined yet?
Well, it hasn't been determined yet, because we're still trying to work with, we're trying to figure out the pricing for some of this, because it is, everyone's kind of a little bit different here, so we're just trying to get the best we can for as little. We want to make sure that the company that comes in is making money on it, but we also want to make sure that we're not spending taxpayer money that doesn't need to be spent. As for the, you're right, with the holes that are in the middle of the building, we do want those out. If anyone is familiar with the old Woodbine, they have 6 pillars that mount through the middle to keep the roof up. One pillar at the very end that's right by the bar, we're going to leave that one alone, and the last pillar that's all the way in the back, we're going to leave that alone. But the 4 in the middle, one of them's in a fireplace, we're going to remove them all, they're going to steel beam it, and then we'll wrap that with wood. This way there is a clear view for everybody to be able to see the dais, because that's going to be at the complete opposite end. We are taking down the walls. Again, if anyone's been there, every time they had any kind of a buffet, they served the food all the way in the back. And then you sat up in the front of the lounge. Now what they're going to do is the dais is going to be where they served the food before, so we have basically the rest of the building open so everyone can sit and watch meetings. Then we can divide it down for individual community rooms. We are having a wall put in, so this way they can collapse the wall if they don't need a lot of room. So we want a clear shot there so everyone can see, no one has to look around and pull. And the discount is going to be $20,000. It's no, seats are to be set up to screw. So we're doing, we did not take that one. As for the pad, I don't know if we need it, and plus it's just something else that's added up to the, added on. Yeah, the touchpad, I don't know if we're going to go with that. Then there's also lights that are in the middle, in the main entrance, that when we put the, when we put in the new office and they come up to the counter extends further and the lights doesn't continue on far enough to be under the lights, so we're trying to get more lights sitting up on the front counter so this way they can see it. So we don't believe we're going to be accepting that one either. And the last one is we don't need the, we're going to move our own equipment that we have now over there. We're not going to be replacing it because it's still all good. So those are the things that we're, the other ones are audio, visual, security system, fire, and also a generator. We will be putting a generator in that will take care of the building, no air conditioning, but God forbid something does happen, we lose electricity for a long period of time. Village Hall still would be running. If the weather was bad, it's a place for people to go because we'll have the power because we're going to generate the
Okay, so the adders then that we're pretty certain we're going to add in is going to be the emergency generator, the security camera system,
Yes,
the audiovisual system,
yes,
and then the new recording device,
yes.
which is audiovisual, and then alternate 12, which is the conference room tabletop device.
Ryan,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to read everything. I'm just trying to see which alternates we plan on putting in.
I understand, but.
The last four I talked about.
wish all of them would talk a little bit louder.
The last four I mentioned was the security camera system, the audio-visual, and the recording device, and the conference room tabletop device. Are those the ones that we're quite certain we're going to add into the contract?
We're not sure on the tabletop device.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's right now, that is not in the running. We don't know if it's something that's needed. It's not a real expensive item, but it's almost like a we break it. Okay, so, yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be a beautiful village hall when it's done. And it's going to be, everything's going to be updated on the inside of it, but it's still a village hall. We don't have to have it glamorous, we don't need to spend money we don't need to spend.
But it's a great plan. It's a better plan than what it was. It's cheaper than what we thought it was going to be, cheaper than what it had been anticipated.
It's going to be a lot cheaper than what it was. We just, like I said, we don't have a final figure right now, but it's in the hundreds of thousands. As for the community room, that was on the first set of plans from the other architect was going to be 800 square feet. Right now, we're close to 3,000 square feet, but we are also adjoining it with the boardroom. So it's going to be our village hall boardroom, and it will also be community rooms. The only thing we're eliminating from there right now, well, obviously the bar light, and we are going to remove the fireplace because there's no need for it. There again, it's just an obstruction on the center of the building. The offices, we are still going to have a lot of room left over that's not even set up for an office right now. So we have room to grow, and the police station is going to be in there, and the police station is bigger than what it is right now. And we feel it'll be a lot more convenient with them, and we're working with the Will County Police to make sure that they're comfortable where they're going. The only thing we're not doing anything with, there is a second floor in there, we're leaving that alone, and the basement's for storage. So.
I have a question. Ryan, Alt 3 and 4, is that restroom renovation and then it goes toilet room renovation? Is one considered public and one considered more, what, are those, it's not one or the other, it's those rooms plus 3 plus 4?
No, maybe I could just speak to that real quick, just as a little bit of an overview. What I think we attempted to do was, we had our main base bid, which was the bulk of the project, and then various options, I guess, for a lack of a better term, right? Similar to buying a car, what options are out there to consider. I think there were things like the restroom renovations that are functioning bathrooms. So do we, would they look nice if they were updated? Sure, but do we want to expend those dollars right now? We're not sure, but hey, let's get a price. So that's how we built out the 16 alternates. And so the restroom renovations, which would be a combination of when you walk into the building and walk up the ramp into, there's bathrooms to the right, there's public sort of bathrooms right now. So those were included. There were various bathrooms included. And I think this was just an opportunity that while we were putting out the bid twofold, one, let's see what the price is and then make a decision as opposed to just put it in the base bid and we're doing it. And so let's see what it's going to cost us and then decide. But two, I think that it also, if it's something we don't choose to do, and I think right now that's probably not something we're going to do, I think has been the discussions, we can hold off on that. We have an idea of what it's going to cost us when if we decide to do it 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And also things like that, and I think this is the difference when we look at the alternates, where something like the bathrooms, isn't really going to be all that much cheaper to have updated at some point after the building's complete and in use versus doing something while the building is under construction. And where something like the generator there would be a premium for us to go back after the fact and add that 2 years from now. That's something that I think we've prioritized and said, yes, I think that's something we need to do right now. So that's the difference. When you look at the per room, all rooms, the per room is a per room, per restroom, and then all 4 rooms together. In talking with Tria and the mayor, I think our recommendation is we're not gonna do the bathrooms right now. They're fully functioning. They're fine to use. They just may not be beautiful remodeled bathrooms right now, and that's okay. I hope that answers your question. Mm-hmm. The other point I would make is, I think where we're not ready to make a final decision is when the bids came in, we've got 14 bids, which is pretty unheard of, which is a great thing for the taxpayers of this town. When you have, I think typically you're looking at 3, 4, 5 bids, and some of this was strategy in us going and putting it out to bid at this time of year before the summer construction season to get, I think, more value. And I think when we see 14 bids come in, which is competition, right? And that's a good thing for us in saving money. I think one of the contributing factors to that is that this job is going to be completed in bulk during non-outside work months. So with 14 bids coming in, that's a great thing for taxpayers in this town. And I think at this point, it's TRIA going through bid reviews, sitting with the apparent low bidder and the other bidders, and going through the references and doing their due diligence right now to make sure that when we do make a decision, they can give us a recommendation letter on the contractor. So we don't just get a great price and then get stuck and have issues with a contractor that we didn't do the proper background on. That process is taking place right now.
Okay.
And so I think the cautious but the right thing to do is wait for all of that information to come back on top of price and then take formal action as a board. But that's just I guess an explanation of why we broke it out into 16 alternates. But even on the ones that we don't do right now, we have 14 bids on what, and gives us a ballpark on what that will cost us if we choose to do it down the road. So I think it was a smart way to go about that.
And by us making no motion tonight, we're not changing the timeline of this project whatsoever?
No.
No.
So everything is still on course, exactly the same as it was, and it's really more just formality, and then the 24th, we put the stamp on it.
No, we'll do it before then. We should have final figures before us one day next week. And what we would like to do is, as soon as we do get the numbers, because we want them in there demoing it, the balance of the demolition. So we might have to call a special meeting next week, but we don't know. We should know by Monday, hopefully, and that gives us time. So worst comes to worst, next Thursday, so we give time to advertise and put it out there.
There is a plan commission meeting scheduled for Thursday, the 18th, but I believe it will be canceled.
Okay.
So that should work out.
All right, well then, what we should do is probably, just for right now, set it up for the 18th, because it's something that we can change.
Okay.
Because, like Brian said, we sat down with them, with TRIA, and everything still will work exactly what it is. The completion date would still be June 15th, which gives us time because we are under contract here until the end of July. So it gives us time to be able to move stuff from here in there, get everything situated. When they're finished, go through and just make sure that everything's 100%. If not, they can go ahead and get that corrected while we're in the process of trying to move some of the stuff. So this is working out perfect, and we just want the best deal for the village right now. So it is, we're a few days away, but I'd rather, like Brian said, rather take the time right now to make sure we got all our ducks in a row so we don't have any headaches.
My only comment is, as a contingency, make sure we tell TRIA that if they can't complete the job in time, that they complete the areas that are most important for us to move into.
There's already built into the contract that if they go, every day they go past June 15th,
Yes.
it's $1,000 a day. So, and they've signed as part of the bid that they believe this project can be completed by June 15th. So it is an aggressive schedule, but that was another thing. In looking at 14 bids, it gave us an idea of, there were one or two that said, no, they don't know that they can make it by June 15th, but the other 12 said they can make it by June 15th, which I think was good for us to say, okay, we're not too aggressive, right? So 12 of them say June 15th, they can get this done by. So I think there were lots of good things in having the number of bids that we had come in. And again, I think part of TRIA's job right now, and the mayor's been great about this on TRIA, is the job of TRIA right now is not only to go back and do bid review for the apparent low bidder, but to also encourage them to sharpen their pencil even further. And that process is taking place right now too. So no matter what, this is going to be a significant win for this village in hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings versus the old plan, including with that end of July deadline of getting out of this building. We're 5 months of savings at $20,000 a month. That's $100,000 savings, not even talking about this work that's being done there and the savings there. That's $100,000 savings versus what the timeline was with the old architect under the old plan. So I think this is just going to be a win-win for everyone.
I agree. But any other questions? All right, so as soon as we do hear from TRIA on this, then Brian and myself will sit down with them. We'll make sure everything is good, and then if we can settle for next Thursday, so a week from tomorrow. If it's going to be later, we'll let you know, but if we can, we'd like to get it going as soon as possible. So like I said, they can finish up the demolition on the inside of the building, because there are certain things that we did not do as a village when we were doing the demolition, because we'll let the professionals do that. So with that being said, we will contact you and let you know when it's going to be, and then we'll set that date up. So with that being said, we are on number 3. We're here to consider an approval for resolution number 16-003, a resolution to support for the Run Creek Watershed Plan. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Trustee Sweets, do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Costa, is there any discussion? Okay.
I have a
Madam
quick-
Clerk.
I just have a quick question. Is there any future meetings coming up?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay, that's what I was just curious.
Okay, with that being said, if the motion carries, Madam Clerk, will you just call the roll?
Trustee Knight Trustee
Aye.
Trustee Barrion?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Cabrio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye. Motion carries. Next would be old business. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Executive session has been canceled, so I need a motion to adjourn. Okay, now everyone's up. All right, it was Mike? Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Meeting adjourned.